Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Reboot a Franchise, an educated discussions podcast. I am here with
Elmo,
and today we're going to talk about rebooting Def Jam, specifically Fight for New York, but the series in general. Now, Elmo, are you familiar with this franchise?
when it comes to the Def Jam games, I actually played it mostly like in demo form. That was definitely the time when like my mom was not buying me that game at all.
Okay.
But like if I'm remembering correctly, there's one part that throws me off, especially back then. Is it more of like a fighting game, or because there was a lot of wrestling involved as well?
Yeah, actually, they had different styles. So it was definitely a fighting game. It can be up to 4 players. And you can choose between either a more kickboxing, I believe was one of them, wrestling, street. They had different names for it at the time, but different versions of it. But ultimately what it looks like in the end, because a lot of the rings are very wrestling ring looking. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. it was a wrestling game, but that had street fighting. Like it was like MMA and wrestling kind of mixed, at the time. Just a little more street because all the characters were actually from the Def Jam recording label, and then they had a couple extra guest characters in there too. Yo, that's a guy I know. He's on the radio.
That was cool.
That was the attachment I had as well. Playing those characters, seeing I know who Carmen Electra is. I know who Ludacris is. Snoop Dogg. Like this is cool. It's one of the few games that use like licensed people's faces to the extent that they did, especially for a whole fighting game. Like you were able to recognize each of those people, and I thought that was very unique about it. Especially since the majority of them were from the music industry. Well, anyways, in regards to the Def Jam series, just a little bit of info for you. Def Jam started out with Def Jam Vendetta, okay, and that was released April 1st, 2003. They later did Fight for New York, and that came out September 21st, 2004, and then the not-so-beloved Icon on March 6th, 2007. So, I am longing for another one of these games. I think now is the time. There's been enough distance between the last one, and I think it would be perfect.
The singing game?
I mean, they have, Def Jam Rockstar or something?
Yeah.
I heard that one wasn't too bad, but I heard you couldn't, curse in it or something?
I mean, they have 50 Cent. That's all you need.
Sure. Well, anyways.
I ain't into making love, so come give me a hug if you're into getting rubbed.
Yeah. So I think we need to reboot this franchise. And I have some ideas onto how to do that. First, what to keep. I think we need to keep the 4-player brawls that were primarily in Fight for New York. So you can still do the 2-player, you can go through story mode, all that stuff. But the 4-player brawls, you don't see that too often in fighting games, especially when each player is controlling its own player individually. So four different players on the screen at the same time. Chaos ensues. Now, one of the things that I liked from Icon, which is very few things that I liked from it, the theme songs. So whenever the character powered up or did their super move or whatever, Get Back from Ludacris plays when he does this thing, and that's cool. And one of the few things I liked about that too is that the environment bumps to the music. I think it was a little too much in Icon. I think it should only do that during the super.
That makes sense.
Yeah, everything should be the same, but the moment the super comes up, that means that is your time to shine. Get hype, everybody, and everyone will know because everything's bumping. Okay, there should be kind of like a little intro thing, because what Icon did was, in order to activate your super, you had to do some dumb like DJ dispatch or something to activate it. I didn't like that, so kind of combine that with Fight for New York, where it was just a prompt. Once you built up a certain meter, it starts, and then like the game zooms into your face. And I think that could be customized, like what he says instead of just screaming, because that's what was in Fight for New York. So that should be a thing. They should continue with the guest characters. If you remember, not all of the Def Jam characters were from music, You
opened with Carmen Electra. So.
Carmen Electra was one of them. Machete, Danny Trejo was one of them. There was other ones I can't think of at the moment, but there was other ones there. And I think that should continue just for some fun little surprises.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, or Kylie. She's more popular. You got to keep the Fight Club atmosphere. That kind of went away. I before this, I showed you some gameplay.
Like guys fighting
in a very nice luxury apartment. It was kind of lame. Versus Fight for New York, everyone's around cheering, holding you back, throwing you weapons here and stuff. So you got to keep that atmosphere. You can keep some levels that have that a little more silent or whatever, but ultimately, I like the atmosphere that Fight for New York was going for. Now, what's a change? The thing that's a little tricky with Def Jam is that Def Jam is actually a record label. That means they have a certain slew of artists that you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, not all artists that are popular today are part of Def Jam. However, they have cooperated in the past. Labels, they do features and stuff like that. So I think that if they, in order to get away with adding extra characters that aren't part of Def Jam Records or whatever, just have them be like featuring and then this.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can get away with it because at some point, everyone's crossed through with them. I mean, they're one of the biggest labels out there. All right, so then when it comes to the supers, make them customizable. Have them choose a phrase, like I mentioned earlier, maybe something tied to one of their lyrics or something that everyone knows, right? The music, maybe have an option between 3 different famous songs that you can choose, and then choose the part that you want to play when you activate your super, and then your finisher. What?
I'm thinking of like someone I would fuse on this roster and...
Do you have something good? I want to hear
Kind of.
Well, what you got?
Well, wait till you get to your roster that you have in mind. Because I want to see if this person's even on the roster.
Okay, so the finishers, if you noticed, if you played the other games, the finishers really shined in Vendetta. They got kind of crazy with them, and versus in Icon, they were mostly just kind of like a power-up. It was cool because the song played, and then or whatever you yelled, but that was it. You just landed hits a little harder and little things like that. I think there should be an actual finishing move. It doesn't have to be like an actual fatality or whatever, like it's at the end only. It just does serious damage. And to get to it, you have to be good. Get good. That's pretty much it. Now, I have my roster here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to name some characters. However, I did this kind of quickly before the cast. So if I'm missing anybody...
You made the cast before the cast.
Yes, yeah. The cast of characters was shortly before the cast. I just ran through some of the most popular names in hip-hop these days. All right? Here's who I have.
You say that, but you didn't have Catch Me Outside Girl on here.
No, Bad Baby is not on this list. She's too busy doing other things on certain websites. Ready?
Well, and I got to Google it. No, go ahead.
Don't do that. All right. Ready? Okay. I'm just going to name them in no order whatsoever. Drake. Lil Wayne. Nicki Minaj. Ludacris. Fat Joe. Snoop Dogg.
I haven't thought about Fat Joe in a while.
He was part of the original cast, and I think he should be. What's that? Snoop Dogg. Okay. Travis Scott. Diddy. Kanye West. Cardi B. Jay-Z. Rihanna. SZA. Eminem. Post Malone. DaBaby. Jack Harlow. Chris Brown. Tupac. We'll get into that. I know what you're going to say.
Go ahead.
Janae Aiko. Biggie. Chance. Big Sean. Pitbull. Bad Bunny. And Lil Jon.
Mm-hmm. You did not have him on the list.
Who?
Lil Jon. Originally.
Oh, yeah. You told me before the cast. Yeah, you're right.
I was like, yeah. Like, anyway.
Yeah. Imagine that being the super. Get drunk. And the music hits.
Just turn down for what?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. I mean, that's one of them. You can customize it. That's the
Right.
beauty of this game. Who did I miss?
This is, this is just in my heart. This is not.
Oh. Go ahead.
Ugly God.
Ugly God. Yeah, I mean, the music will be the game will be rated M.
I mean, water. You can use water.
Yeah, sure.
Water. Huh? Water.
What? Splash.
You probably can't use the one with the iPhone ringtone. Yeah. You probably FTBT. Listen,
it's hard to without breaking our usual no cursing.
You know what? It's funnier censored anyway.
Okay.
He's like so bad that it's too much. Make him the weakest character. It's fine.
Okay. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate that. Anyone else?
He would appreciate being in the game with these guys. Anyway, I'm curious what your special guests are for. I want to hear those.
Oh, I didn't have any.
Well, who would be like the?
I think you got to have Jenny Trejo return. You need to have him there. Anyone else you can think of? I think you mentioned one earlier before the cast.
Oh, I think I said Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, you want Jamie Foxx. Now that actually
game.
kind of works because he has music. So, Grammy Award-winning artist right there.
So do they have to have music? And they don't, right?
Like, they don't have to.
Not at all.
Again, Carmen Electra and Jenny Trejo. Not to my knowledge.
You don't have any ladies in here. Are you trying to avoid?
I have a bunch of ladies.
Okay.
I will repeat the ladies for the.
Do that for me.
Nicki Minaj.
Okay. Yeah. What was the name?
Cardi B.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
Rihanna.
I'm remembering these.
SZA.
You can't put Rihanna.
I know. That I will address that. I will address that. You gotta just trust me on this.
It's not funny.
I know, but you're.
It's just awful.
You're not laughing,
it's
but
awful.
I know what you're doing.
All right.
Where was I? Since there's a Janae Aiko.
You say Bad Bunny?
I did say Bad Bunny. I'm trying to throw some Latino. I was gonna put Daddy Yankee, but I'm like, he hasn't done that. To my knowledge, he hasn't done anything good in a while, or anything.
Don Omar.
Okay, so for now, I mean, clearly everybody, I didn't have every artist. I mean, we can throw some newer artists, Lil Uzi Vert, and who knows.
I would like Too Short.
I mean, has he done anything?
No, he has not.
Okay, well, I guess.
But people use a lot of his.
Neither has Tupac.
People use a lot of.
Sorry, my bad. I did need to add this one.
Too Short was used by Drake.
Sure.
In that, remember I said, he stole it, but it was like
it was very clever. Yeah. Too Short, and then DMX. Forgot to add him.
Okay. Oh yeah, that I was thinking because he was. I think I used him in the original.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was there. Oh man, Dr. Dre. My bad.
You're not bringing Method Man back?
No. Exhibit. You gotta have him. Hey, yo, dog, I heard you like Exhibit, so I put an exhibit in your exhibit so you can exhibit exhibits. Who? Oh, J. Cole. Yeah, you're right. See, there's a lot. I'm gonna forget a bunch.
The podcast could be the roster.
We'll do it once they get announced.
So no Soulja Boy? The face.
I don't like Soulja Boy. I honestly think he's got some mental issues in a like it's funny way, but it's kind of sad at the same time. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
He's one of those probably stay off of Twitter people.
Stay off of everything. I don't know. Anyways, so that's who I got. So out of the roster that I said and what you thought of, think of a finisher.
What do you mean think of a finisher? Like
I thought you said you had something in mind.
That was just me thinking of the ugly god.
Oh, okay.
That would be great.
I want to bring up an example. Oh, okay, yeah. So to address the situation we brought up earlier, okay? Some of these...
a disclaimer on this one.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I guess this kind of comes down to what the game's going to actually look like. I think the smart way to include all these characters, the game would have to be slightly on the cartoonish side.
Yeah, if it's not, I'm not buying it.
Huh?
And it needs to be.
It needs to have still have the graphics look nice. I don't want it to look like that one WWE game where everyone's a little ridiculous, but still have it be. I mean, if you look kind of like how Fight for New York looked, everyone a better graphical version of that. So everyone was kind of had slightly heightened features, just a cleaned up version of that. Unfortunately, as much as I'd like to, because of the history that some of these characters have, specifically talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna, I don't think you can have damage on what the people look like. If there is going to be damage, fight damage, it will be very, just scuffs and not even bruises, but just dirt, the typical thing games do, like Super Smash by the end of the round, when they have a lot of damage and have a little bit of whatever, have it be like that. And because of the cartoony nature of what this game can look like, I think the finishers should just be ridiculous and just be completely
3
unrealistic.
shots to the groin, minimum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like that one chick in Vendetta. I'll throw an example. I don't have too many of these thought up, but I always thought about this one with Ludacris. So Ludacris had that one video, and of course, at the moment, I cannot think of which one it was. It might even be Get Back. I'm not sure. But there's one where he had huge freaking hands and forearms. Do you remember that one?
I don't.
Oh, no?
No. I need to see this.
Watch this cast, and you'll see him. He pretty much, he has, Popeye arms, but, much bigger. Mm-hmm. And he's just pushing people. It's got to be Get Back. Well, anyways, whatever. I want him to suddenly grow those for his finisher, and then he beats him up and whatever, stuff like that.
Eminem throws spaghetti.
Sure, you can get silly with it. Maybe not.
Okay, no, it's dumb. That
might be too stupid. It's still got to be kind of cool.
No,
but
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. Kanye West envisions himself some kind of Jesus, so have him soar up with angel wings and come, something like
He's
that.
He's like the Sephiroth,
right? Drake can do something with Hotline Bling and I don't know, just little things like that can be done. There can be a lot of smoke involved for Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay.
Little things like that. Use famous songs and famous music videos that that live in your mind and think of what that could be for
Snoop.
Finishers.
He needs to summon a lion or something from when he was Snoop Lion.
Yeah. I mean,
give him the Wolfgang Fist.
Would have a couple. Each one would have a couple finishers that you can choose. You want to summon a lion, then do it. And then when Pitbull does his fireball, and he shoots a giant fireball at it. All right. Anything else you want to add for this?
I think you already said it, but I think I kind of checked out of that franchise as it progressed because it did seem to lose its fun almost.
Correct. Yeah, it got too serious with Icon.
And they tried to add mechanics to make it more of a legitimate almost game when it's I'm here to have fun.
Yeah,
enjoy the time. And the focus on fun would be needed.
The height of the series was of course Fight for New York, and that was definitely a lot more party game than it was fighting game that it tried to do in Icon.
Even the animation, you showed me some video and everything just felt almost it tried to stick to realism so closely that it lost its edge. Yeah. So I personally would want a game super realistic because I love seeing what this new consoles can do, what the new consoles can do and hyper realism. But you can take that and apply it towards the animation. That's what Naughty Dog's for.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, like I said, I don't want too ridiculous, too cartoony or too bubbly like other games. I don't want Beautiful Joe out there, or that one wrestling game. What's that game I'm talking about?
Is it All Stars you're thinking of?
PlayStation?
Is it recent?
Yeah, the recent one. That looks weird.
God.
Whatever. I don't want that.
WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Do halfway between what Fight for New York was and Def Jam.
Honestly, there is a wrestling game, WWE All Stars, that I think would actually...
an Icon.
There is a wrestling game that would actually, I think, tie in well to what you would like. It's a little over the top.
Send it to me.
I will.
Send it to me, and I'll try to add it to the
They've not made anything like it in a while. But it's called WWE All Stars. And it's what I originally thought you were talking about.
Oh.
Battlegrounds is that new.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But I would want to get into this.
Me too.
I don't know if I will ever pick Chris Brown. I may never pick that one.
Come on, he was in The Office. Oh, not really. His music was.
I hate that
That's
part.
a good sound, man. It's a good sound.
Well, don't spoil The Office.
Oh, sorry.
They should watch it.
I'm sure they've seen it. You watch it on Netflix.
Peacocking around. Anyway, this franchise would successfully be rebooted if you were to do this.
Yeah, they should hire me.
Def Jam should hire you, yes.
Okay. Now, one of the things that sparked this idea was that Def Jam recordings themselves tweeted out, "Hey man, you remember this game?" And they tweet out a picture of it "Hey, you guys help me or you guys give this tweet 1 million likes and we got a special announcement for you guys."
That's not a spicy chicken nuggets at Wendy's.
That was thanks to Chance the Rapper, who is in this game.
What are the chances?
What are the chances? and they had the little controller emoji, right? So they were clearly teasing a Def Jam game or something, right? Let me tell you, I was one of those likes. And I kept checking back every single day for the rest of that week to see where they were at. Did they get to the million? They got to the million by the next day, right? But I was checking back every single day of that week because there was no announcement. And this was last year, Elmo. And there's still no announcement. So what's going on? It got way more than 1 million likes or hearts or whatever they asked for, retweets. Who knows? And there's still nothing.
You really want to hear about this Apple Arcade game they're making?
What are you talking about?
That's what it's going to end up being or something.
Oh, God. I really hope not. That was what everyone was saying. Like, there's going to be some mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, like just the way they worded everything is like it was hype.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing.
It does suck.
Yeah. And that's why I'm here.
To reboot it.
To reboot it and do it for them because they clearly don't know what they were talking about. Well, thank you for listening to my pitch for the reboot of Def Jam. Hopefully.
What would you call it?
To get the hype, Fight for New York. I would just do it over again. Okay. That's the one that everyone is familiar with. That's the one everyone talks about. So I would do Def Jam Fight for New York. Just do the whole story all over again. What the story is, I don't care. Just follow the same thing. Build your own.
Really? Like, if you just took a lot of inspiration from 50 Cent Blood in the Sand.
Yo, 50, jump over that big ass rim!
No, that's not happening. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Keep it educated.
No. Keep it discussions.
So how long ago was 1 million seconds?
It was 1 million seconds ago.
No, give me another metric.
4 years.
Oh. 1 million seconds. I mean, I don't know. You want me to do the math or you just want me to wing it?
Just wing it.
238 days.
Okay. 2 weeks.
That's not true.
It is.
No, look it up.
So if I've done this. 2 weeks.